Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
3 T66 turbos with NOS.
Antero Automotive. Toolbox Trivia.
Hey, welcome back to Toolbox Trivia here at Antero Automotive. I am your host, Andy Emery, and this week we have defending champ Mark Peterson here with us and Daniel Solis. Many of our customers know Danny up at our front counter as a service advisor, but what they don't know is that Danny is actually an integral part of the success here at Antero Automotive and an integral part of our team. Plus, fun fact, Danny is a trivia master, so I expect him to just smash it today.
Oh, yeah, blow through it. Yes, sir.
All right, so we have 4 topics that we cover on Toolbox Trivia: automobilia, mechanical, terminology, and, of course, racing. Each guy will have about 30 seconds to answer the question, and then Levi, the man behind the camera, is going to help me keep score just so we make sure we get it all right. So, you guys got any questions at this point?
Think I'm good.
You guys are ready for this?
Yep.
Let's get it going.
Okay, let's go. All right, so starting it off, question number 1. Our category is terminology. What is the term that describes the ratio of the volume of a cylinder with the piston at the bottom dead center to the volume of the same cylinder with its piston at top dead center?
I'm not feeling too strong about this answer, but
No,
I don't
but
know.
you wrote
I
it
don't
down
know what
quick.
it is.
You were-
I don't. I'm not for sure what it is, but I'm going for it.
Okay, all right, but you were on point there. So, and you guys can't see my screen, right?
No.
Okay.
Not that much of it.
Perfect.
I don't have my glasses on, so it's just a blob.
Okay.
I'm not so sure on this one either, but
Okay. Well, you guys got your.
yeah, I got a guess.
You guys got your answers.
I think mine's wrong, but I don't
Okay.
know what it is. I said displacement.
That's close. That's close, but that's incorrect.
I just put air fuel ratio.
Oh, that's also really close. So the actual answer is compression ratio. So in the early days, manufacturers were making big power, running leaded fuel, and running really high compression ratios from the factory on naturally aspirated motors, up to 13-1. But fuels were changed, and manufacturers were forced to reduce the compression ratio, which meant a sacrifice in power output. For example, in 1970, the 454 made 450 horsepower. And then in 1990, the same 454 was choked out and made 230 horsepower. So, but bring in turbocharging, direct injection, variable valve timing, and now we have engines like the Toyota Dynamic Force engine that runs up to 14-1 compression ratio, squeezing about 207 horsepower out of a 4-cylinder, which is pretty amazing.
Wow, that is amazing.
All right, moving on. Question 2. Category is racing. I just couldn't wait. I had to dive right into racing. So the oldest running race in the U.S., the Indianapolis 500, just ran a couple weeks ago. What does the 500 stand for in the Indy 500? It's a multiple choice. Go easy on you. A, 500 laps. B, 500 miles. C, 500 meters. Or D, 500 yards.
I'm going to go with C.
Oh, you can't say it yet.
Wow.
Just got to be quiet.
I believe the Indianapolis 500 is a 500-mile race.
What'd you put? Did you put meters?
Yeah,
500
I put
meters?
C.
All right. So for the longest time growing up, I always thought it was 500 laps, and then I couldn't figure out why they were only running 200 laps. So it is 500 miles. It's equal to about 200 laps. In 1911, in the inaugural running, Ray Harun won the race with an average speed of 74.6 miles an hour. So if I calculate it all right, the race lasted about 6.7 hours. So it sounds like more of an endurance race than anything, especially for the fans, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, 500 miles. All right, moving on. Question 3. Automobilia is our category. So the iconic highway Route 66 stretched across 8 states, totaling 2,448 miles of black ribbon asphalt. Name 2 of the 8 states.
I know it ran through Radiator Springs. What state
Radiator
was
Springs
that in?
totally did.
What
Radiator
state
Springs.
was that in?
Don't give any hints, though.
Must have gone past Chuck Berry's house, right?
Probably, yeah.
All right, so between those two.
Danny's looking pretty unsure, but he's riding. He's riding a lot, which is good.
Oh, shoot, I hope I'm not getting this mixed up with Route 44.
Totally unsure. I'm getting my butt kicked here, dude.
I forgot to keep score. I hope Levi's keeping score back there. You ready?
Sure.
All right. You're good?
I guess
All right.
so.
What's 2 states you got?
I came up with Montana and Nebraska.
Okay. Dang.
It was just a guess for me too. I figured Heartland, whatever, Illinois and Ohio.
Wow, no kidding. I figured that you would have got it for sure. All right, so Route 66 begins in Chicago and finishes in LA. The road was signed into law in 1927, but the section remained dirt until the entire roadway was paved in 1937. Though it's been paved over and rerouted, many stretches can still be seen and or driven today in states like Arizona, New Mexico, Missouri, and California. So the 8 states that it ran through: California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois.
I got Illinois right.
Dude, I
got
was
half of
picking
it.
West Coast states, and that's
Yeah.
why I erased it. And I
So they
redid it.
originally planned on Route 66 to go all the way across the United States, but there was some red tape and whatnot, so it ended up basically in Chicago. Then there was Route 60 that kind of went that direction, and then I-40 took over a lot of it. So, all right.
So did you get it, Danny?
No, neither one of you guys got
I
that
erased it. I had California, and I erased it. And
one. See?
should have stuck with it.
All right. Moving on. Question number 4, category is mechanical. This will be a multiple choice also. What does the W stand for in modern engine oils, like 5W30, 15W40, 10W30, that sort of thing? A is weight, B, water content, C, winter, or D, wax?
Let's hope that none of those other items are in the oil. I say A, weight.
Okay, Danny?
Wait.
See, and I think that's a common misconception. Everybody thinks that the W stands for weight. The W does not stand for weight. The W actually stands for winter. So that first number that's in there is the viscosity of the oil basically in the winter, or the ability to flow at 22 below Fahrenheit or 30 below Celsius. So the 5 is its viscosity at 30 below or 22 below. So the numbers certainly, it's important when you're running in sub-zero temps like we see here in Colorado, especially in the wintertime, right? And that's when oil naturally thickens. So running a thinner oil in that time frame or time period when it's really, really cold, the oil is going to flow a lot better. Not saying you should. If your car calls for 1030, obviously we're going to want to stick with 1030. But on newer, later model engines, because of tighter tolerances and the demand for better fuel economy, we're seeing more and more manufacturers using lightweight oil. So there's 020, right? We do a lot of 020 oil changes here. But now we've got 016, and there's even a 0W8 oil that it looks like cooking oil. It's so thin. So it's crazy. So we just keep getting thinner and thinner on these oils. So not weight, it's winter.
So then the olden days, they used to say, like, if you had an old car, it would be like 30 weight.
30, they're right, they would say 30 weight.
But because there was only like a couple things to choose from, right?
Correct.
Gotcha. Trick question, go on.
Go on. All right, moving on. Question number 5 is category is racing. Again, there's never going to be too much. All right, so what form of racing will you find supercharged 1,500 horsepower vehicles with names like Avenger, Blue Thunder, Max D, and El Toro Loco?
I don't know. I have nothing on that one.
Come on. Put something down. Anything you can think of.
And what type of a race you're saying, right?
Well, what form of racing? So, we've got like all different forms of racing. So street racing or IndyCar racing or drag racing.
I'll give you a hint, Danny.
You cannot
Action,
give it a
action,
hint.
action! 1,500 horsepower of flight in the air.
That's a hint.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. What you got?
I put down drag racing.
All right. No.
I put down monster truck.
Yes. Monster Jam or monster trucks, right? Truck racing had been around for a period of time, but the man that put it on the map was Bob Chandler. And what truck did he have?
Bigfoot.
Yes, Bigfoot, 1974 F-250 named Bigfoot. Now we've got highly sophisticated 12,000-pound machines that race and launch over jumps. They backflip. Now they're front flipping. They're nose wheeling. So if you've never taken your son or daughter, go check it out. MonsterJam.com.
Monster.
Super awesome. They come in at Mile High put on a heck of a show. It's amazing. All right, so we are halfway through. So just a quick score update. Mark, you've got 3 correct, and Danny, you're going to get on the board. I can feel it. But like the back half of this is all you, buddy. So here we go.
Here we go.
All right, so
Comeback.
That's right.
Announcing the
Don't
comeback,
call it a
Marco.
comeback. All right, question 6. Category is automobilia. What was the first American-produced Japanese car? So, Japanese car built here in America. What was the first American-produced Japanese car? You good?
Think so.
You good? All right. What you got?
I'm going to go with Honda.
Yes. Yes. I didn't ask for make and model, so I'll go with Honda.
Right.
What'd you write down? Can I see
Toyota. Sorry, yeah. Toyota Corolla. I figured it was a toss-up between the.
Right.
They're probably close in doing it.
Fun fact, right? This Corolla was the #1 selling car in the United States. However, the Honda Accord was the first American-produced Japanese car. So they rolled off the assembly line in Marysville, in Ohio, in 1982. Became the best-selling Japanese car in the U.S. for 15 straight years, and then it was taken over by the Corolla. This is awesome. I just found this out. April 3rd of this year, the Ohio plant rolled out their 15 millionth Honda just this year. So
15 million?
15 million Hondas.
Wow.
So they've produced 12.4 million Accords, 300,000 Accord hybrids, 401,000 Civics from 89 to 90, and then 204,000 CRVs from 18 to 22. So they have pumped some cars
Pretty
out of the
amazing.
Wow, that's
Marysville,
amazing.
Ohio
Yeah,
plant.
seriously.
Or auto plant in Ohio. So that's awesome. Cranking it. All right, so
Got on the board,
Danny's on
Danny.
the board. Love it. All right, here we go. Moving on. Question 7. Category is going to be terminology. Sliding, floating, monoblock, and fixed are all words associated with which automotive component?
That one's got me pretty good. I don't think I've got to even.
Is there a way you can
guess.
give an example of what you mean as far as the automotive component? Like you're talking about a system?
Like a part.
A part?
Yeah, like a part on a car. But
I
I
don't
can't
think we should know because a monoblock, like I've heard, and floating.
Yeah? You think you got it?
Carburetor?
No.
I went axles or axle?
Oh, man. So is it the monoblock that got you guys?
I guess
Because
so.
it threw me
Yeah.
off too, right? All right.
Yeah.
So it's a caliper. You
Caliper,
have sliding,
floating.
fixed, floating, monoblock. So monoblock and fixed are essentially the same thing. Not everybody calls them a monoblock caliper, but we get into some European markets, it's a monoblock caliper. But most everything that we see is a floating or sliding caliper.
Gotcha.
So floating or sliding calipers, they use a bridge to hold the brake pad in, right? And then the caliper goes on top of that bridge. Then there's typically 1 or 2 pistons on the back side of the caliper and then just an arm on the front. That back piston applies pressure to the inner pad. The caliper slides over and applies pressure to the outer pad, thus giving you braking pressure. A fixed or monoblock, right? Lamborghini,
Right.
Porsche, some Audi S7 and whatever.
Yeah.
Big fixed calipers. The pads slide into the caliper. The caliper is then mounted to the knuckle or to the basically to the knuckle, and then the pads are applied with even pressure on both sides. Monoblock calipers can be as small as 2 pistons, so 1 on either side, or 4, 6, 8. They even have a 12-piston caliper that I found when I was doing my research. A company named Rotora makes a 12-piston caliper. I mean,
Wow.
the thing's monstrous, right?
Should have got it because of the floating. That's what. That's
Yeah.
what we
Floating,
should have.
right? So you know,
Floating
What would a
piston.
12 piston caliper go on?
You know, from what I found, it's just a custom application. I couldn't find a manufacturer that uses a 12-piston caliper. I did find, I believe there's a new Lamborghini that is a 10-piston caliper, which is, still it's huge. But this 12-piston that uses carbon ceramic pistons, and like I said, the thing is it's a monster. So anyway,
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
Moving on. Next category, question number 8 is going to be mechanical. What does PCV stand for? Pretty cool Volvo.
Said no one. All right.
Okay, Danny seems really confident because he's showing Levi. What do you got?
I have a positive crankcase ventilation.
Very
Marco?
good. Positive crankcase ventilation.
All right, nice work. All right, you guys are correct. So until the early 20th century, blow-by gases escaped from the crankcase or engine by leaking through seals and gaskets. It was just normal, right? So it was normal to see oil leaking on the ground, which is, I guess, still the case if you own a Wrangler. Damn! Kidding. Then they switched over to a downdraft tube. So it was a tube that came out of the top of the motor, went down towards the bottom, and then as the car drove, the air across the bottom of that tube would cause a draft and cause the vapor essentially to be sucked out, which also just dumped it on the ground. And so obviously polluting. Then the great state of California and the California Motor Vehicle Pollution Control Board, or the CMVPCB for short, which later came to be the CARB. Right, California Air Resources Board, researched and designed the modern-day PCV system that uses engine vacuum to draw oil vapors out of the top of the motor, usually the valve covers, sometimes the valley, and combustion gases back into the intake to be reburned so that we're not just dumping it in the atmosphere.
Yep.
Good job, guys. All right, question number 9. You guys want a score update? You want a score update?
Yes,
Sure.
please.
All right. You could catch him. Marco could get this wrong. You could pull this out. This is a good one right here. Question number 9. This has got your name all over it.
Dethroning Marco.
Dethrone Marco right here. All right, so this is terminology. What is another name for the window sticker found in the window of all new cars?
No name for a window sticker.
This I did not know until recently, that this actually has a name.
Is it like in England? This is here in the United States, right?
This is in the United States.
All right.
Absolutely in the United States.
And that window sticker that gives like the fuel mileage and all the options on the
Yes,
car.
yeah,
and
absolutely. That's
that
the
thing.
sticker. There's a name for
Window
that sticker.
It's also called a.
What's funny, I think you'll hear it. You'll hear the name if you
And then
can't
we'll
come
be,
up with
"Ah."
it. You'll go, oh yeah, I've heard somebody say that before. Stumped. Absolutely stumped.
Yep.
I love it. The sage has been stumped.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've always just heard it called a window sticker, but
Okay.
it wouldn't be like a build sheet or something like that.
No, it actually has a name.
Yeah, it's called window sticker.
Watch it be that. So mad.
Is it an acronym?
No, it's
No.
not. There's a name.
Actual thing like WS. It's not.
No, not like WS or PCV. Nothing like that. No.
All right.
PCV was the last
I
one.
just took a wild guess on this.
All right,
one.
what you got,
I'll
Danny?
take a
I'm just
zero.
gonna go with vehicle detail summary.
Yeah, which is what it is. But no, you were
VDS.
incorrect. The VDS.
Yes, the VDS.
Marco, you're
I
going to
got
go
nothing.
with nothing.
No, I
You
got
weren't
nothing.
thinking that it was maybe a Monroney sticker.
Definitely not a
They weren't
Moroni
thinking
sticker.
that.
No.
So some people say it's a Monroney sticker. Some people say a Monroney sticker. It's spelled and it looks like it would be pronounced Monroney. So in 1955, I'm going to read this because this is pretty good. In 1955, Senator Mike Monroney chaired a subcommittee of the Senate that investigated complaints from car dealerships in the United States. Can you believe such a thing? About abusive treatments by manufacturers. The subcommittee continued working and investigated deceptive practices by car dealerships. Crazy. Since there was no price disclosed on each car, dealers could inflate the MSRP to give the impression that buyers received a significant discount or allowance or higher value for the used car they traded in.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
Wow. Believe
No,
such a thing.
I can't believe
I
it.
can't believe it. This is the part where he's going to start to rebuild the front suspension.
I think that means he wants us to go.
I think Shannon's done with trivia anyway.
That is tool cart quick.
Anyway, so they didn't disclose any hidden fees or non-essential costs and whatever. And so thus in 1958, the Automobile Information Disclosure Act was born, meaning that this sticker had to be on all new cars on the lot. If they're not, I think it's $1,000 per occurrence. So if you walk a lot and there's not a brand new window sticker in a car, you can report that dealer for $1,000 per. Right?
That's
Now,
a
I don't
good thing
think
to
you
have.
get
That's,
that money,
that's a
but-
good thing to have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
And when was this implemented?
1958. So
Wow.
55 is when it was started. Mike
Wow.
Monroney started this whole deal, and then 1958 is so. Yeah, it's been around for a minute. So
That's
it's
crazy.
crazy. Dealers,
Yeah, that is crazy.
But since 1958, I think they've all gotten their act straight. Dealers are good. right? They're wholesome. They don't rip anybody off.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, they got that. They got the
Kinda
window
read-
sticker.
They got the
to
window
hold them accountable.
That's it.
That's right.
All right. Question 10. This category is automobilia. What was the final year the VW Type 1 Beetle was produced in Mexico?
Type 1 Beetle?
The Type 1 Beetle. So like the old, I'll give you that.
The original
man.
Bug.
The original Bug.
It's a lot later than what we think.
There's a hint.
It's quite a bit later than what we think. So the last German one that came in, I think, was 79, right? 79 Beetle.
I don't know that yes, I can let you answer. I didn't know if that was my bonus question, but
Oh, nice. I went up on the bonus.
which is also a hint. All right. You
Well, I'm
good?
not sure on this one. I'm taking a guess, but
Okay.
sure.
What you got?
86.
No, Marco.
Well, now I want to say a lot later than the 1984. Yeah, so what?
It was 2003.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, 2003. So the Type 1 was produced from 1938 to 2003 with a total production of, oh man, you guys want to take a guess at this real quick? Total production numbers of the Type 1 Beetle.
24 million.
Close.
30 million, yeah.
It's 21.5 million. So the most of any car on a single
model.
Yep.
Right.
The Beetle was produced in 16 countries worldwide, with the final Beetles being produced in Puebla, Mexico.
Alrighty.
The last year the Beetle was sold in the U.S. was 1979. You were right. So, good job. All right, so
Very
this
good.
ends the trivia. Marco won it with a total of four. Right?
Didn't
Danny
even
got
hit
2.
500, but
Good
won.
job. You made it through it. You survived. Danny didn't think he was going to survive. So with that, we didn't talk about that in the beginning, but with that, we're going to donate. Antero Automotive is going to donate $500 to Make-A-Wish in Mark's name. So this brings his total up to $1,000
So
donated
awesome.
to Make-A-Wish. That's awesome. So keep up the good work, Marco.
Nice job, Marcos.
All right, well, so that wraps it up. We're going to let these guys get back to work since we interrupted the middle of the workday. But thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Below, let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Make sure you check us out on Insta, Facebook, or just AnteroAuto.com. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.
See you later.